Welcome to Main Street Mondays. I'm Sarah Grunwald, Executive Director of Main Street Washington. I want to welcome you to another edition. Today we are at the Joy of Music with Elisabeth Peiffer. Welcome.
Good morning.
So Elizabeth, tell me a little bit about yourself and about your business.
Okay. I'm a board certified music therapist. I got my schooling at the University of Iowa. I knew I was interested in music therapy as a high school kiddo. It was introduced to me as an option, as a profession. I've been a musician my whole life and enjoyed music, but I equally enjoy people. And so when the idea came presented to me about that junior high school age, and I was thinking about my future, I didn't want to play in an orchestra for my whole life. I knew I loved music, but I equally loved that connection. And so I wanted to use what I had, that giftedness in music, to connect with people. And music therapy became something that was mentioned to me by a trumpet professor, and so I kind of pursued that route. Like I said, went to the University of Iowa and did my internship at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics for 6 months after the 4 years of schooling. I worked in mental health, so pediatric child and adolescent psych and adult geriatric psych. And then for the other 3 months, I worked a lot in pediatric medical. So spent time in the NICU and kiddos fighting various illnesses. And so that's my training and background. And then as an intern, I started the Joy of Music here in Washington.
And you have 5 music therapists that work with you?
I have four other board certified music therapists who work here. So it started out in 2005 with just one simple contract, and it was just me, and it has grown over the last 13 and a half years, and we kind of cover that whole span of Southeast Iowa providing music therapy services.
You have a pretty big radius you guys cover.
We travel a bit, yeah.
It's quite large.
Yeah.
And you bring those services to people and their homes?
We do. Yep. We serve a lot of different populations. So we work with kiddos in special education, and a lot of times for them we'll travel to the schools. So we go to a lot of schools in that area. We work in hospice, and that's also a traveling to the client. We do have people who come here for services. We serve adults with different abilities, and sometimes they'll come here for group or individual therapy as well. But a lot of our work is traveling.
Okay. And you also teach lessons here?
Yes.
You teach also a range of lessons?
Yes.
What kind of instruments do you cover?
Well, we cover whatever the therapist has studied on their own. So I can teach trumpet lessons. Another therapist played clarinet, or another one piano. But we can all teach piano, guitar, and voice. And then kind of whatever your specialty was. Sometimes I'll get some trumpet kiddos in, but we start as little kiddos. We can teach through adult lessons, adaptive lessons, people with different abilities, and things like that.
Okay, and then you have classes for little kids, Move With Me, right?
Music With Me.
Music With Me, and
Yep.
that is lots of fun to watch them interact with instruments and noisemakers and
Yes.
themselves too.
Yes, a lot of fun. So when I started the Joy of Music, I just wanted to provide to the community what we needed. And so I sit back and look and listen. What does the community need? What do families need? And so I saw a need for a kind of a mom kiddo class, although it can be a grandparent or a dad or just any loved one that's a grown-up can come with those kiddos. And we started Music With Me. And then as those kids got older and they were out of that range, preschool and under, then I said, okay, where is the gap? What are we missing? So between that age of preschool and 5th grade, before public school band is introduced, there's a need there for kids who want to express themselves through music and learn through music. So besides lessons, we teach music for movers, we do music adventures, we do guitar camps, we teach ukulele to kids and adults. So I just try to encompass what the community needs and in providing that music enrichment. Although we're primarily a music therapy company, we're here for the people. Not everybody needs music therapy, but anyone can benefit from music enrichment.
Sure. And you are on the square now in the former Griggs Music space. It's been about a year.
Yep, it has been a year.
And you guys took over that kind of music store need when Griggs went out.
Yeah.
And you have a kind of a broad selection of things that you offer. So let's talk about the retail side of it, because this is new to you.
Yes, the retail side is very new. So I can give you all the information on therapy. That's kind of how God created me. Definitely was a gifting in that. I love to learn. So while retail doesn't come like naturally to me, it's something that I've really enjoyed pursuing. So again, we want to be a music store that provides what our community needs. When I found out that Griggs was no longer going to be here, I thought, Washington needs a music store. We can't be asking people to travel to get what they need, their guitar strings or their valve oil or their music books or whatever it is. So we renovated the space and came in, and we offer what we think the community can benefit from and some extra fun things. Some shaker-a's made by a local percussionist and some other locally made items, and it's been a learning curve, and it's been fun.
And you worked with the school too to figure out what the music instructors needed for their students to have.
Yes.
And made sure that those things were in stock.
Yes, we talked to the band teachers locally, and I'd still like to spread out even a little bit more and make sure we have the methods that their kids use and that sort of thing, so we can hopefully be available and accessible and a benefit.
So this has been a 14-year project.
Yeah.
That's a learning curve. You're learning all the time. You're adapting, addressing community need. What goals do you have for like the next 5 or 10 years in growing the business any further?
I love when you say goals, because goals are my heartbeat. I write goals for kids and clients and patients all the time. So of course I'm writing goals for myself too. I'm looking to see where there's underserved. And I think there's a lot of youth in our town that are underserved. A lot of that teenage, preteen population, not a safe place to go hang out, not parents at home, or just don't have the accessibility to those great things that sometimes we take advantage of. We take for granted. When I see kids that come in here and it's not a burden for their parents to write the check for them to have private lessons, what a blessing it is to that family. And then I know there's a large percentage of kids who don't have that funding option. And so in the future, it's my 10-year plan is to renovate the basement of the space to make it a place for the youth to come in and just have jam sessions, a place where we can give lessons without charging those kiddos, teach them some music skill, give them a fun, safe activity to practice those social skills with other kids, to hang out. I don't know how that's all going to work and unravel, but my heart beats and hurts for those underserved youth. And so I think there's a great potential here for some cool new programs to be in place.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's a great goal. So is there anything else you want to add about your business before we wrap up for today?
I don't think so. Just a thank you to Washington as a community, because it has embraced the research-based music therapy. Even though it's been new to so many ears here, people see the results and they see it. What started out 14 years ago as most people had never heard of it. I'm always advocating because people still are unaware, but it has been embraced and loved and accepted, and I'm so thankful that I get to have a business with other therapists working here, and our community supports that. So I'm thankful.
And remind people where you're located, your address and
Oh yes, 120 West Main Street. We're on the north side of the square, so the opposite side of the library. We got a fun little window set up there, so come by and see us.
Yeah, pop by and see Elisabeth, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday.